Hello everyone and welcome to Primrose Hill. I thought we should go for another walk today. Primrose Hill is another London park situated just to the north of Regent's Park if you go into a London map, and it is a hill. You will see when we get to the top some very beautiful views and you will recognise immediately some of the famous London landmarks as well. And I thought we should have a look at some of the interpretation here and some of the ways of using outdoor spaces like these. It's always really interesting to have a look at that, especially because people often behave very differently when they are outdoors. So let's have a look at that and go for a little walk. Let me show you here on a map first. We are up there. You can see the red dot. You are here. And we have all of Regent's Park here. So this is where we are. This will not be a long walk, it's just a little walk around the paths here and we'll end up at the top of the hill. So let's start walking. As it's usually the case with London parks, it's used by everyone: tourists, dog walkers, locals, people out for a run and so on. People come here to have lunch, sit on the grass. When we get down to the end of this path, you'll also see some spaces for like ball games and football and so on, where children and adults can come and play. So it's very nice that they're used in this way, especially by people who might not have gardens on their own, which is a lot of people in London. Primrose Hill, I have been told, is apparently also a very good place for celebrity spotting. Now, if you want to go on a celebrity spotting tour, I'm so not your guide. I'm one of those people who never really notice people around me when I'm out for a walk. I mainly notice my surroundings and nature, I'm afraid, but friends and colleagues and so on have told me before that they have spotted me or waved at me or something and I never see them. So I always have to apologise that I never saw them, but apparently that is the case. I have seen a few celebrities around, which of course makes me wonder how many I haven't seen, how many I might have passed without noticing. This is very early morning in April and you can see spring is coming. Very lovely. Not too many people yet, so it's very nice and quiet. But of course, where celebrities go, paparazzi photographers also follow, and you do see them around from time to time. They're not particularly discreet. They don't have to be. They're allowed to take photos in public. I don't know how they know where to go, but I'm pretty sure that's an art form in itself when you're in that line of business. I did have a little bit of an awkward situation some time ago. I saw a photographer. There's a rather large local hospital not far from where I live, and I was walking past it and past the emergency entrance. I was walking on the pavement and there was a photographer on the opposite side of the road, sort of with a very long camera lens clicking away. I couldn't see who or what he was photographing, but he was photographing the emergency entrance. And surely if you need to go to a hospital and use the emergency entrance, it's usually because either you or someone you know have been hurt or are sick, or you're visiting someone, and surely that ought to be something you can do in private, but not so much in London. I'm also pretty sure there is a lot of money in a photo of a celebrity either leaving or entering a hospital. Now over there we have lots of the ball game places, and you see lots of coaches coming here with groups of children and adults. A few there playing football. I think let's go up this way actually. That'll bring us to the top of the hill. We have the sun a little bit against us today, It's still very low. We're in April, but let's see how much we can actually spot. It's definitely getting more and more power, the sun, which is nice. It's getting warmer. And again, not too much traffic noise. We have some pretty busy roads all the way around us, but it's not too bad once you get into the parks actually. You might have noticed when we did the little walk around Hampstead, that was very quiet as well. Hampstead is more sort of isolated. It's a little bit further away from the city centre, but a huge space, so it doesn't feel nearly as crowded as Primrose Hill sometimes can be. You'll always see people at the top of the hill though, all times of day, all times of year, enjoying the view. Either locals or tourists, or people also use the hill as a good exercise actually. You'll see runners sprinting up here. It's quite steep when we get to the other side. Oh yeah, good places for exercise as well, to come here. Now when we get to the top, there isn't actually a lot of interpretation. There is a board that shows the major landmarks, buildings you can spot from up here, and it's fairly simple, but it kind of does what it's meant to do, and in a way that's nice. It's not too overcomplicated. I went up here for a walk in January, I think it was. There was a little bit of snow. You don't see that a lot, but it was very pretty. I might be able to find that photo again. And it just shows again how different the atmosphere is when at all times of year really, and depending on the weather and so on. Oh, there are not many people up here today. Usually you see more people. It might be too early in the day. There's a little bit of mist, but I think we can still sort of see the shadows and the silhouettes of a lot of the buildings. Let's see. It should be possible to point them out. I think you'll be able to see the shadows at least of some of them. There's a little bit of a morning mist still. Let's go in the middle here, so we can have a little look around. And this is not a bad view at all. It's very hard to see today, but you should be able to spot just the top of the Gherkin there, sort of in the middle of the screen now. And if you look right in the middle of the screen now, you can also see the dome of St. Paul's Cathedral. Oops. And the very tall pointy building there, you can just see the shadow of now. There's a shot. And then when we get out here, you can spot Westminster, the large BT tower there in the middle of the screen now, and of course the Great London Wheel. I'm not sure you can actually see Westminster today. There's a little bit of mist. But let's just have a look at this board. You can also see lots of people come up here and just sit. Nice place to just sit and relax. this is one of those things you can't avoid. When you do outdoor interpretation, there will always be people drawing over it or putting stickers on it and so on, but this is quite a good board actually, where you can see, you can definitely make out some of the landmarks there. Not a bad view at all. Let me just show you. And here you have all of the rest of Primrose Hill Park, of course. And if you look sort of right ahead right now, you should be able to see a sort of huge net structure in front of you. That is part of London Zoo. London Zoo is situated just at the top of Regent's Park, so you have Regent's Park starting down there. And it's a really, really interesting zoo. It's well worth a visit. There's lots of space for both visitors and regular tenants of the place. And their interpretation is really good. Obviously they tell you a lot about the animals and their environment and so on. But they also have some really good boards that discuss things like, well, everything from human impact on nature, climate change, pollution, and not from a kind of negative gloom and doom perspective. They're clearly not afraid of stepping into the discussions at all, but there was some really good reflective interpretation down there, and I like that they take that up directly, some of these issues, and especially sort of how humans and animals depend on each other, and how we live and have lived together. So there's some really good interpretation there. I was quite impressed by that. Well worth a visit. They also have a really good website. Now it sounds like I'm marketing or promoting it, but they have some really good blogs and photos, videos and so on their website. But this is just a lovely park. It's very lovely to come here. Very quiet today. You also often see people just walk through on their way to work and so on. So let's just walk over to this side and have a little bit of a final look at it all. The sun is burning through now. So maybe we will get rid of the mist a bit later today. I hope you can make out some of the buildings and the famous landmarks here. Alright, that was a little look around Primrose Hill. I hope you enjoyed. We can come back here at another time when the season has changed. That's always interesting. Thank you so much for now. Take care. I hope you enjoyed.